What is up, whammon and gentle whammon? Alright, we are here today after a long break with my locals deck profile. So this is where I'm at currently with Orcust, and I'm still on the fence of whether I'm going to be running Orcust this format or Salad this format with the new Pyro Phoenix. I haven't got to test with it too much, but as of right now, I'm probably gonna be running Orcust. And here's where I'm at, and I'm looking to make some changes and progress forward. But to get started in the deck profile, we got the 3 Scrap Recycler, 1 Greffer, and 1 Armageddonite. These are your starter cards. They get you in your Orcust engine and just let you play. I play pure Orcust for the weekend. Weekday technically, and I'll be playing it again on Saturday probably. But these are your starter cards. This is what gets you into your Orcust engine and gets the deck going. I'm iffy on if I want to play Mathman or not. Scrap Recycler is just all around better because it can send Gizmek in your higher levels, so it's better in the later game. But Mathman essentially does the same thing as all 3 of these, and I never really felt like I needed another starter, but I might up the starter count and cut another card in the deck, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll make a decision and test it for Saturday and let you guys know. But those are the 5 starters that I ran, other than the 3 Harp Horror, because Harp Horror is the in-engine starter of the deck, so that puts you at 8 starters. I'd like to up the starter count, but I'm not 100% sure if I need to, because technically you can start your combo with any of the normal summonable Orcust. Whether they're good or not is a difference. So you got the 3 Harp, which is standard, 2 not symbol because you're playing pure now, and with Gizmek you kind of need to. But if you manage your resources correctly, you'll probably only ever need the 1, but you keep the second one in there in case you have to Gizmek early. That way you have a chance to not banish your only skeleton. Next you play the 2 Nightmare. I've seen people were playing 3. I feel like it's a little too breaky right now. I feel like 2 is perfectly fine. There's never a time where I wanted to see more, but I really like the Nightmare at 2, even with the Mermaid ban. And then next, as extenders for the Orcust cut package, you play the 1 World Wand and the Brass Bomber. I initially cut Brass Bomber because it just, like, in a vacuum, it's not that good. It just summons from hand. It doesn't really do too much. But there are situations to where when you draw, say, your symbol skeleton or something like that, and you just want to summon it from hand, you can send it off of, or summon it off your Harp, or you send it off your Nightmare, and then just like continue to combo by summoning the 1 from hand that you needed to get out of your hand, which is really nice. And then World 1 just extends your plays by bringing back your banished, so that way you don't have to like constantly use Dane's Effect to equip. For extenders, I play the Danger package, so the 2 Snake, 2 Bunny, and then 2 Nessie. Worked out really well. Nessie, I feel like you have to play it 2. I know a lot of people like to cut it to 1, but I like to play 2 Nessie just because if you open Nessie in your opening hand, it just makes things a lot easier, especially like Nessie Greffer is like amazing. And then like mid game you can use Nessie to bring out the BLS Link that I'm decided to play, which actually is really good, and the ability to make it easier is just phenomenal. For tech kind of thing that I played, or tech extender, was Levianeer. I liked it. It was good when I saw it. I never really needed it. There was like one occasion where my hand was like bricky to begin with, and then this was my 6th card, so it didn't really help, and I wasn't able to summon it for like half the game, so it just like sat in my hand, and I actually eventually just like normal summoned Greffer like halfway through the game, and then pitched this because it was like never relevant. I'm probably going to cut this to drop the deck down to 41 and then replace the other one drop the deck to 40 from 41 and then replace the other one. I mean, I liked it, but it's not really necessary, and it felt bricky. The Gizmek is just busted, and then 1 Phantasme because I only have 1. if I had a second Phantasmid, it's probably what I'd cut the Levianeer for, and then cut the other one just to bring it down to 40 cards. On the spell cards, you play the 3 instant fusions because opening instant fusion and then a starter and an extender, you get full combo plus a window, so that's always really nice. And then instant fusion is just really strong going second. Being able to bring out the Thousand Eyes and then suck up a monster is always really nice. And it acts as an extender if you need it to. So like if you only open Harp and instant fusion, or your only playable cards, and you can just normal summon Harp, instant fusion out the Thousand Eyes, make your Galatea, and then begin your plays from there. I decided to play the triple Call by the Grave. Alright, so the 3 Call by the Grave, just to interact with your opponent's graveyard and stop their plays that they're currently going for by messing with their graveyard. So like the Salad matchup, you can banish the Spinny when they try to summon it back. You can banish the Jack Jaguar when they try to summon it back. When they reincarnate like the Sunlight Wolf, you can banish it. It's just really strong in those matchups, and it puts them in an awkward situation if they're not prepared for it. I decided to play 2 Cosmic Cyclones in the main deck just to have some kind of out to Mystic Mine in case somebody played it this weekend. I feel like this was a smart decision and a very good decision. It never really came up. I only drew it like twice, but when I did draw it, one game it was relevant, one game it wasn't. But still, just having the option to go in and play against Salad, and they go full combo with Roar set, and then have their whole Salad board, and you just like Cosmic Cyclone the Roar. They have to negate it unless they want to just like lose their Roar for no reason, and then you don't have to worry about Roar for the rest of the turn, and you just go in and kill them. It's really nice. And then you play the 1 Babel. I play 1 Return. I don't feel like 2 is necessary. If I had to, I'd test it, but instead of playing the second one, I've been playing an Upstart. And once I cut the deck down to 41, I feel like this is going to be the optimal play. You only need the 1 Babel. I feel like you only need the 1 Return. It's really only strong if you hard draw Crescendo, and you can set this and then use it to extend your plays further if you drew an Orcust. So like I feel like if you opened a starter, Crescendo, and if you open a starter Crescendo, this is good, plus an Orcust, that's where you'd want to set this. But most of the time it's like refueling your hand or trying to extend and push further. I like it at 1, honestly. Upstart's really strong, and then Babel's Babel. If you draw Crescendo, you can just like activate Babel, and then you have quick effects and a Crescendo. For another starter card, you have the Foolish Burial to send the Harp Horror, or if you've already got full combo, if you've already got another starter, you can use this to send Gizmek. You can use it to send a lot of stuff in the deck just to extend further on your first turn. I decided to play 2 Crescendo. I loved it at 2. I'm probably going to bump it to 3. Nobody was expecting Orcust to be playing 2 of this card. I feel like now that Mermaid's gone, you have to play 2 to 3 of this card. I'm going to test out 3 on Saturday, but I feel like 2 was perfect. 3 would have been nice in the finals, but I was still able to squeak that game out. Drawing this card turn 1 is very good. It then allows you to activate Babel and give you all your cards quick effects, which is really strong on top of having a negate. I feel like you have to play Orcust now more kind of like how Salad plays. You make your full board, and then you rely on your counter trap. And the one thing that Salad does very well is recur all their resources and still end on a counter trap every turn. So you have to playing through a negate. So I feel like Orcust should kind of move along those lines to where we're playing 2 to 3 of these. That way, every turn we're putting up a negate plus a big board. Unlike Salad, we can put a big board up to kill you, and then if we don't kill you, okay, cool, we just set another Crescendo and then pass. You got to deal with this board again and then another Crescendo, which is what makes Salad really strong, and I feel like we need to kind of follow along those lines. And then finally, I played 3 Infinite Impermanents. Again, I want to play kind of along those same lines as Salad with this deck, just because I feel like this is the stronger version of Salad. I mean, Salad's really strong right now, but I feel like Orcust could be stronger if you played it properly and piloted it properly. But 3 Infinite Impermanents it's the best hand trap right now. It plus Nibiru are the two best hand traps. Phantasme is kind of weak right now. I don't know why people just bought it out. It's a very good card, but I don't feel like it's the best card because a lot of decks aren't like turboing out into links and stuff very much. I feel like Phantasme is now a 2 of, this is a 3 of, and Nibiru is either a you play 3 somewhere. Either you play 2 in the main deck, 1 on the side, or you play 3 in the side, or you play 3 main deck. You have to have I feel like you have to have 3 of this, 3 Nibiru, and at least 2 Phantasme. So I need to order another Phantasme. That's it for the main deck. It was 41 cards. I'm definitely going to cut it down to 40. I'm probably going to cut a Levianeer for the 3rd Crescendo. And then I feel like other than that, the other Levianeer was fine. That's probably what I'm going to run with this weekend. So I'll cut these 2, one for a Crescendo, and then the other just to bring the deck down to 40. But other than that, I was very satisfied with how the deck played this weekend. I only bricked once, and thankfully my opponent bricked 2, so I was still able to win. We'll go on to the extra deck now, and then after the extra deck, we'll go through the tournament report. Alright, so you got your Dante Field Center, because Dante is king. You got 3 Galatea because it's Galatea. She's kind of mandatory right now. You only ever need 2. The 3rd one came up only once this weekend, but you should really only need 2. I played the 1 Nightmare. Phoenix because it's Phoenix. It's busted. Played 1 Cerberus. This card is kind of a flex. I'm going to take it out for something else. 2nd Phoenix came up once this weekend out of Macrocosmos, and I didn't have it, but I was still able to win because I Borload. So that came up, but that's about it. Like, Cerberus never comes up because everything's like protected now, and then you have so many ways to out monsters that you don't really need Cerberus. So I'm going to be cutting Cerberus for something else. You got the 1 Longboy. Longboy was friggin' phenomenal this weekend. Summoning it turn 1, that way you have access to it for the rest of the game, is absolutely amazing. Just sending something to the graveyard is always nice. And then getting your banished Orcust back into the deck and just continuously recycling is always amazing. You got the 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn came up once yesterday, and that's really it. But you gotta kind of have to play it just because it's Unicorn. It's really good. There's just times where you're like, okay, well, if I had Unicorn here, I'd win, but I didn't have Unicorn, so you kind of have to play it. The 1 BLS link, it's not a necessity. Normally, you'll never bring it out turn 1, but like mid to late game, you can bring this out and just like wins you games for no reason, because like Striker, if people are playing Striker, they have a hard time outing this card. And it's just a really good card overall. There's just certain times where like summoning this card is just a blowout. Like summoning this and then going full, like the rest of your Orcust combo, bringing back a ding and sending something, and then using this to beat over stuff is just really good. This is a really powerful card if you have the ability to make it. So like I feel like Orcust and Thunder have to play this card because of how powerful it is, and then people are still going to be trying to play Sky Striker, and Sky Striker just struggles to deal with this card. They have to waste so many resources. But that's why you play that. It's not mandatory. You don't have to play it. It could definitely be something else. So if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Don't play it. But I really feel like it's a very powerful card this format, and that if you can play it, you should play it. 1 Borload because it's freaking Borload. Thunder Dragon has a really hard problem dealing with this card. So you play the Borload. It just puts in so much work. The 1 Boral Sword Dragon because Boral game. Exactly. You just want to win. Normally on your 2nd turn, so turn 3, you're trying to make Boral Sword and kill them. Yeah, that's no explanation necessary. This was a Appaloosa. My Appaloosa is not here yet. It should be here sometime this week. So I borrowed one off of my friend. Appaloosa is really strong. If you open a really good hand that makes you want to extend, you can by going into Appaloosa before you start your Orcust combo. That actually came up once this weekend, and it won me the game because I ended on Appaloosa, Ding, Galatea with a set Crescendo, and it's just really strong. It is really, really strong, and it protects your play from Nibiru, so you kind of have to play it, so that way if you can go into it, you can go into Appaloosa and then do your Orcust combo, even if it's like you're just going to end on Appaloosa, Galatea, and Crescendo. That way you don't get blown out by Nibiru. Then you play the 2 Ding because it's Ding. It's really strong. I wish I had a third this weekend, but I don't think it's optimal to run 3, honestly. 2's plenty, but Ding's friggin' amazing. And then the last 2 cards are Thousand Eyes Restrict for instant fusion. That way you can, it's like a mind control that's in your main deck, so it's really nice. And then the 1 Winda because ending on Ding, Galatea, Crescendo, and a Winda is really strong. It's really hard for people to out that board. 9 times out of 10, they gotta waste their special summon, swing over the Winda, and then if they have to bait out your negate or bait out your protection, and then try to swing over Winda, and then you got your 1 token boy for when we Nibiru people. Alright, and the side deck I decided to play for this weekend was 3 Smashy Rock, because it's Smashy Rock, it's probably the best hand trap of the format. 2 Lancia for the mirror match and Thunder Dragons. 3 Mind Control, because Mind Control's busted. Using their cards to start your Orcust combo is absolutely phenomenal. 3 Twister and a 1 Galaxy Cyclone for back row decks, and then evenly matched for back row decks. We've got a guy at the shop that likes to play Mystic Mine, so I felt like these were necessary. That way I'd still be able to play the game. Other than that, the deck, like, honestly, the deck was phenomenal this weekend. I had no complaints. I never sided this in. I sided this in once. I sided these in twice. No, just once. I sided these in once. I sided these in like every match. I sided these in against Thunder, and then I sided these in almost every match. I don't feel like you need this game 1 in Orcust, especially if you're playing to go first. You don't really need it going first. It would be nice. I just don't feel like I have room for it right now. The only thing I could think to cut for it was Impermanence, but Impermanence put in so much work that I wouldn't cut it. I wouldn't swap places with it. Lancia, I feel like you have to play, because Orcust and Thunder are 2 of the top 5 best decks right now, so you have to play this card. This just blows out everything. It turns this, it forces out a negate in Salad. It forces out a negate in Orcust. So like this is just a blowout in every matchup, and it outs like the Thunder board. Like just activate this, take your 1 dude. Okay, cool. And then this for back row decks is just kind of like, everybody knows, like, you don't like I don't like losing a back row, so I over respect the back row decks and under respect the combo decks, because you don't have to overly respect the combo decks when you're playing 3 Nibiru and you're playing Orcust, so you can generically break boards with this card and this card, so you don't have to overly respect them. Because like this just like shits on fucking Salad. They go their first turn and just like Nibiru before you move to end phase. Do you have will? No? Cool. I get to start my turn and not have to worry about anything, and then probably kill you. Yeah, but I felt like the side deck was pretty close to perfect. The only thing I might change going forward is evenly matched. If I took this to a regional, I'd probably cut the evenly matched. I don't know what I would cut it for, because I feel like it kind of contradicts with people siding Lancia against me, so like, I don't know. I'd probably cut this for Red Reboot maybe to adjust for the back row decks more. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's the deck. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm probably either sometime today or tomorrow I'll post a combo video and let you see what the end boards for Orcust are right now, or at least in my build what I'm playing with. I apologize for not being very active. Work's been absolutely insane lately. This last check I had 123 hours on it, so yeah, I've been very busy with work, but hopefully things will start to slow down. I'll be able to bring you more content soon. But thank you guys for watching, and y'all have an awesome day. Deuces.